Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
So right now, guys, we're in this mansion, and things are pretty crazy. It's the past couple of days, and we just decided to go outside of LA and get some fresh air. And we're gonna give you guys a little tour of the place soon.
And some vitamins C or D, sunlight.
But yeah, so basically, what's been going on is that we're in this mansion. And it's empty, right? We came to this mansion because we had some problems with our, like, situation with our roommate, and she had a mental illness problem, but we're not going to go into that because, may God help her. But we just had to leave the situation. It was just too much. So when we left,
Well,
we
we've
went to
been
this.
wanting to leave, but
Yeah. And God makes people, and that's a lesson in itself. God brings people together for a certain amount of time and to depart. And when you depart, it's supposed to be peaceful, and always try to be peaceful. But if the other person is the one that's not peaceful, then at that point you just have to remove yourself and just leave in peace from
yeah.
yourself, for yourself at
And
least.
we definitely left in peace. I know I did, and I know she
Yeah.
did too. So.
And so, yeah, and then so we went to the mansion, right? And so this mansion has been pretty empty. It seems like no one has been here for a long time, like for
Since,
more than like
last
5 months.
year.
I
Yeah.
could say like more than 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely could tell no one has been here for a long time. So it's just been an empty mansion. You know what they say in the Arabic
Sayings.
world about the jinn living in the empty mansions. So it was a little bit scary
Yeah.
at first, but honestly, I prayed. I feel good. I feel like the jinns in here are cool because it's been pretty calm and nice. And I had a interesting, scary dream the other day. But we found this book. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
in the mansion we found these books.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to talk about. Let's just do a book reading like how we always do on our channels. The book readings.
Let me get that one. So my book is 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Should I open to a random page or just?
Yeah, do what you want.
Okay, so Rule 7. Let me go to the first page. See the word Nazi? I'm like, what's going on? Okay, Rule 1. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. Lobsters and territory. If you are like most people, you often don't think about the lobsters, unless you're eating one. However, these interesting and delicious crustaceans are very much worth considering. Their nervous system are comparatively simple, with large, easily observable neurons, the magic cells of the brain. Because of this, scientists have been able to map the neural circuitry of lobsters very accurately. This has helped us understand the structure and function of the brain and behavior of a more complex animal, including human beings. Lobsters have more in common with you than you may think, particularly when you're feeling crabby. Haha. Lobsters live on the ocean floor. They need a home base down there, a range within which they hunt for prey and scavenge around for stray edible bits and pieces of whatever rains down from continuous chaos of carnage and death far above. They want somewhere to secure, where hunting and gathering is good. They want a home. The lobster fight. This can present a problem since there are many lobsters. What if two of them occupy the same territory at the bottom of the ocean at the same time and both want to live there? What if there are hundreds of lobsters all trying to make a living and raise a family in the same crowded patch of sand and refuse? Other creatures have this problem too. When songbirds come in the north for the spring, for example, they engage in ferocious territorial disputes. The songs they sing, so peaceful and beautiful to the human ears, are siren calls and cries of domination. The brilliantly musical bird is a small warrior proclaiming his sovereignty. Take the wren, for example, a small feisty insect eating songbird common in North America. a newly arrived wren wants a sheltered place to build a nest, away from the wind and rain. He wants it close to food and a potential mate. He also wants to convince competitors for the space to keep their distance. I think what this is trying to say is like, um, I like this the rule one: stand up straight with your shoulders back, like be ready. And like lobsters are kind of like that's kind of what they are. They just they're ready.
Eating. All right, go ahead. You put it in the middle? Yeah. Okay. May Allah give me a page that is knowledgeable for us in this journey. Okay, so my book is called Illogical. So you know me, I'm a pretty logical person. And this one says Saying Yes to Life Without Limits. And it's by Emmanuel Aiko. Let's read a little bit about him first so we can see if he's credible or not in this book. So you may know Emmanuel Aiko as the host of groundbreaking TV show series Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. Oh, that sounds funny. Or as New York Times bestselling author. Or as former linebacker for two NFL franchises. What you probably don't know is that Emmanuel defines his own life with one word: illogical. Behind every triumph, every expression of gifts, Aiko has ignored what everyone around him calls logic. The astronomical odds against making it, the risk of continuing to dream bigger or differently instead of playing it safe. At every turn, Aiko has thrown conventional wisdom, logic out the window. Now, in this revelatory book, he's empowering us to do the same. Okay. All right. Build. Here, wait. What chapter is this? Okay. We need to always keep ourselves open to the possibility that this time it will be different. This is your chance. First Drop of Rain, Chapter 8. You may know of a man named Noah who built an ark. As the story goes, I love that. They started that way. As the story goes, the world was evil. Then people had been murdering one another, and God wasn't happy. He wanted to start over, anew. He knew just the way to do it. God was going to send a flood over the earth. Water would come from both the ground and the sky, and the rain had never fallen before at that time. The concept of a flood was literally incomprehensible. Everything and everyone would be swept away unless you were on a special boat. Noah was tasked by God to build this boat, an ark to be technical, and to bring on board a pair of every animal and a select few people. The boat was to be 145 meters long, 24 meters wide, and 14 meters tall. That is massive. To provide some context, the Titanic was 269 meters long, roughly 1.8 times the length of Noah's project. And Noah did it all by himself. It took him over 50 years to build it. Dang. Ooh, he was preparing. Minute by minute, hour by hour, month by month, year by year, he kept on building so that he would be ready for something no one had ever seen before. Imagine the ridicules he must have received from those closest to him. Before he could explain to his wife and to his kids why he was building a boat, he had to explain to them what the rain even was, because no one's ever seen a flood. So they didn't know what he was talking about. So, historians and theologians debate whether the earth had ever seen rain, as biblical texts lead you to believe it hadn't. Imagine the comments from the community, the flock, the people walking by him on the way to the market asking, "Hey Noah, you still waiting on the rain?" But he kept building. He continued to hammer the nail after nail, even though the sky was clear and each passing day was even sunnier than the one before. Then it happened. God told Noah to board the boat, and Noah lined up the animals 2 by 2, boarded up with his family, and I imagined it like this. Noah is sitting inside the finished ark with countless splinters in his hand. He hears the rumble. He's not sure what it is, so he's curious. He peeks his head out a window. He looks left and right again, and he feels it. Something smacks him in between his brow, and he blinks. It slowly raises his hands to his face, and it's the first drop of rain. Rolls down his forehead to the ward of the bridge of his nose. He said it can't be. He thinks it was. The rain signaled the demise of all those who didn't believe, who didn't heed the warning, and the boat aboard the boat. I imagined them pounding on the hull, begging Noah to let them on, but it was too late. The doors were shut, the water started to rise. The moment Noah has been waiting for finally has been here. He was ready for this.
50 years.
Like yours, you said it, the lobsters had to be ready. He was ready,
He was ready.
because he planned, and he knew. He never gave up on the impossible. He couldn't explain to them, like Prophet Muhammad. He could not explain. But I love this book. He could not explain to the people what a flood was. No one really understood that. He just had to believe that it was something that was going to happen.
It was a promise.
Yeah, it was a promise, a decree set. Readers, your first drop of rain is coming, and when it does, be ready, because after this comes the flood of belief, the flood, subhanAllah.
Blessings.
Readers or watchers listening, your first drop of rain is coming, and when it does, be ready, because after that, the flood comes, the flood of belief, the flood of blessings, the flood that will carry you to the living out your destiny. That's what I saw in my dream, was a flood coming towards me, and it was heavy, it was a lot, and it came with a lot, and I was ready. And then the flood of belief, the flood of blessings, and the flood that will carry you to live out your destiny. You just have to believe and build. Build when you get the splinter in your hand. Build when you get ridiculed by friends. Build out your dreams, your future. Keep a keen ear to the sky. The thunder is coming with the rain. Oprah Gail Winfrey was a news anchor in Nashville in the early 1970s, the youngest and first black female anchor in her local station. She soon transitioned to a bigger market in Baltimore, then Chicago. Then she would call home for the next 40 years, in the television industry. The first drop of rain had hit Oprah, but boy, there was a flood to come. By 1986, Oprah had taken the lowest rated talk show in Chicago and made it the highest rated. She then expanded the show from 30 minutes to an hour and renamed it The Oprah Winfrey Show. Shortly after, her show audience was double, and the #1 talk show in America at the time, led by Phil McDonough. By 1988, Oprah was top in the industry, completely dominated, led by white man. In February 1993, she sat down with Michael Jackson for a primetime interview, watched by over 36 million people. It is the most watched interview in television history. Michael! The next year, Oprah was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. For the next 25 years, she dominated the talk show space until she decided to step away from her daily talk show in 2011. So what can we learn from Oprah? Well, besides everything, there is a logical lesson if you pay close attention to the details. Her raindrop hit was in the 70s when she was a youngest female news anchor in her local station. And then when she was the youngest female news anchor at her local station, it was sufficiently pouring by the 80s. She was given her own show. She was ready to handle the flood. At first, your first drop of rain, there comes a moment when you have a decision to make. You either relax and say to yourself, I did it, or you welcome the flood with open arms. Oprah's mission towards greatness wasn't quenched after she became a news anchor at a local news store, nor after she became a host of the Oprah Winfrey Show. Her desire to impact the world was just beginning. She believed she could change the industry not through calculus scandals, but through compassionate conversations. She put on her earmuffs and paid no mind to the critics who refused to believe that a woman, let alone a black woman, could dominate an industry led by men. Her experienced first drop of rain when she was in Chicago show was renamed after her. That was when she truly began to shift the world. It was no longer a flood, it was her flood, and she had built a boat to carry her toward her dream. You'll never be ready to handle the rain unless you start building the boat. Start singing, start writing, start dancing, start listening, start learning. Whatever your boat is, your dreams, your ideas, your passions, your hopes, start building. What boats do you want to build? The rain is coming. It always does. Will you be ready? Be illogical. The flood is coming. Perseverance is a key. You just have to be hopeful, remain faithful, build. Wait for your first raindrop. Don't let the rain catch you by surprise. If Noah had been slacking, waking up every day and just chilling with his friends from the neighborhood instead of working when it was time for the flood, he wouldn't have been ready. Don't let your opportunity catch you by surprise. Don't let everyone on your boat when your success is imminent after your Don't let everyone on your boat. When your success is imminent after people see the first drop of rain in your life, you better believe they're going to try to get on your boat. You can't let everyone on, otherwise you'll sink. T. Wait, the ending. You'll never be ready to handle the rain unless you start building the boat. Wow. This book is fire. Everyone should definitely congratulate this dude. Emmanuel Eco. And it's called Illogical. This book is really powerful. Just read just one chapter and it was amazing. It makes me want to read more. So we're honestly gonna go ahead and start doing some art and some planting of the house, and we'll keep you guys in tune. Masalama.